Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Hearthstone deck spotlight. My name is Tommy Wave, and today we'll be taking a look at Dvaashie's Inner Fire Dragon Priest. Inner Fire Priest, one of the archetypes we've been playing for the longest. Actually, one of the archetypes I enjoy the most. It's been around for a while and will probably continue to be around for a very long time, mostly because Inner Fire and Divine Spirit are both from the classic set, as well as like a lot of the other supporting cards. So always an archetype that I recommend for newer players because it's going to last the test of time, and because it makes a very good aggressive combo deck. Now what we've got here is not the aggressive version of Inner Fire Priest. It's much more the kind of controlling late game style, or possibly even a little bit mid-rangey, but much more late game cards in here. The whole idea of Inner Fire Priest is we're going to try and land a minion, preferably one that has a big old butt like a Wormguard, or something like a Twilight Drake, big defensive minion. We're going to play a Divine Spirit or two on them, and can hit it with that Inner Fire. So you can imagine with a Wormguard, double to 22, double to 44, set its attack to 44, and smash in, hopefully one-shotting our opponent. So to go with that kind of game plan, we've got quite a few good targets for the Divine Spirit and Inner Fire. Like we said, the Twilight Drake, Wormguard, Nightscale Matriarch, Primordial Drake, Ysera. All these cards have huge booties, and they're going to be great targets to double. We've also got some supporting cast here. We've got Radiant Elemental, which helps us cast all of our cards really cheaply. Also works great with Shadow Visions, which will help us find more copies of these cards. Can help us get multiple Divine Spirits. Can help us find that Inner Fire in a pinch. We've got Northshire Cleric, just fantastic one-drop. Help us draw some cards. Help us control the board early on against some of those aggressive decks. We've also got kind of a cute little dragon theme here. We've got Duskbreaker as an AoE. This is probably the card we're going to be looking for in a lot of matchups to help us stop our opponent's aggression and help us turn the corner. We've got Scaleworm, just the one-of in here. Once again, a bit more board control. I'm interested to see how this one goes because it is just a one-of. One-of Cobalt Scalebane as well. It's a good choice in here. Goes very well with the Shadow Ascendant. As kind of a way for us to take advantage of our opponent being a little bit, maybe a little bit too defensive or reactive. We can try to take advantage of that. Got a new card in here, Crowd Roaster. It's fantastic single target removal. I actually mentioned, and we've had some mention in chat, why isn't Lady in White in this deck? And I think Crowd Roaster may be one of the prime examples of why it's not in the deck, because it does nerf the Crowd Roaster quite a lot, turns it into a 4/4, and the Crowd Roaster is a massive upside for this deck. A real good reason to be Dragon is because this thing comes down, takes care of quite a lot of things, and is on its own a pretty reasonable threat, so hopefully bait out some removal, so that our other minions don't get removed, so that we can hit them with that Divine Spirit. The other new card that we've got in here is Firetree Witch Doctor. Very curious card. If you're holding a dragon, discover a spell, so we can potentially discover more copies of Divine Spirit Inner Fire. Cards like Topsy Turvy as well, which can kind of double as an Inner Fire. Or we can try and find some removal cards like Holy Nova, Mass Hysteria, Psychic Screen, this kind of stuff. So this is the most interesting card to me in the deck. I think it's going to tie things together. The cards that we're kind of concerned about that might be a bit weak in this archetype, I think Shadow Ascendant is a really curious one. I think that a Ysera deck and a Shadow Ascendant deck are two very disparate elements. The Shadow Ascendant really wants you to have a lot of low drop creatures, probably wants to be defended as well with cards like Tar Creeper, or any of those kind of 3-drop defensive minions. Feels more like a tempo kind of card. Whereas Ysera is very much a control card. It's very much I want to get to the late game, I'm going to drop Ysera, it's going to help me control the board, get some value over time, my opponent has to answer it, or else they will get killed by the Ysera on its own. So that's what we'll be keeping an eye out for, but we'll play some games, see how we go. Big thanks to Dvaashie for the list, and hopefully we can hit someone for a lot of damage. Let's go. Okay. We face Mechajaraxxus. I think we'll keep the Power Word Shield. Should we? No, we really want to hit Northshire Cleric. Though if we hit Radiant Elemental, Powered Shield's very good. I think we'll keep it. We just hope that we hit the Cleric or the Radiant Elemental.
Welcome to oblivion!
Greetings.
We have turned our curse
Even
into
lock.
our strength.
Okay. It's been a hot minute. Hopefully we can draw a Twilight Acolyte in the first couple of turns, as that's our best answer to a Mountain Giant. Turn 4 Mountain Giant from our opponent is going to be their best play as well.
Is someone right away?
I mean, it's pretty tempting next turn to just go Divine Spirit in a fire, hit our opponent for 10. Especially because Warlock has so much damage-based removal.
Right away.
Now they might kind of overreact, go for the Scale Worm just so we can't heal it. Okay, that's fine. We can heal up our Northshire, get a draw. Ooh, that's a very good draw. Holy Fire, stay aggressive.
Right away.
Our opponent might go for like tap Hooked Reaver. We can Holy Fire it, trade in. Mountain Giant. The second Divine Spirit. That doubles to 8, that doubles to 16, and then we kill our opponent.
Right away.
Yeah, I would say that's impressive too. GG. So that's kind of the strength of. You may have heard in the introduction we were talking about. We kind of prefer the aggressive style of Inner Fire. That's kind of one of the reasons to like it, because a lot of these kind of slower, mid-rangey decks really get punished by it. But GG's, well played to our opponent. They had the Mountain Giant, and we had the Northshire Cleric. GG. Alright, up here against the Mage. Definitely send all of this back. Ooh. Not liking this. And we do have the Twilight Acolyte, which will hopefully help us. Our opponent not Odd Mage, so possibly Big Spell. What's Big Spell going to coin out on 2? Fireflies. What? It's like Elemental Mage? Why would you want to coin both of these out? And just you hero powering on 2? Color me confused. Probably go for the Scale Worm next turn. See what our opponent wants to do about that. Creeperoni? Our opponent wants to hero power this turn. I think that's pretty good. They didn't have a good 2-drop, so they're unlikely to have another one. Keysmith. Keysmith's kind of terrifying. Probably going to build Dragon Warrior. I don't know. I'm like, I just keep saying it. Like, warrior just doesn't have the same late game as other classes. That will probably change once the rotation happens. I think once rotation happens, then Dr. Boom is like a much better late game. Because there's no, there's no other Death Knights out there, there's no Malfurions, there's no Shadow Reaper Anduins. Ugh. Matriarch's okay on this board, but I think we want to get our dragon value while we can. Are we playing this Twilight Acolyte? Just as another body? No. Especially turn 7. We might get flame striked. It's kind of. What is this looking like? Spiteful. That's what it looks like. Oh, glad we have this. Oh, that's very good. Opponent with the huge rips. Alright, let's see if we're dead. Opponent needs 3 damage.
Pinch of death cup, heal of shoe.
They have Pyroblast in the deck too. Akar, you've betrayed me again. Well, that might save us. Spirit Lash. But it might not find the line. Shh. They might not find the line. I think they found it. Dang. So we should have played the Twilight Acolyte before we Spirit Lashed. Then they'd need to have some kind of damage in their hand. Unfortunate. Okay, we are here with the Inner Fire Priest up against a Mage. And this is a bit of a concern. If our opponent is Odd Mage, this Shadow Ascendant definitely does not long for this world. I like the Twilight Drake. I think we might have to kick back the Divine Spirit. We also don't have like a 1-drop for the Shadow Ascendant to do anything with. This is a tough one, folks. I think I'm going to send the Shadow Ascendant back. It's too much of a risk if our opponent's Odd Mage. Doesn't have any upside either, other than it's just going to be a 2-mana play when we otherwise wouldn't have one.
None will.
Yeah, now we're glad that we sent it back. I want to get one more on there, so hoping our 3rd month comes up a little early. Hey, you can always gift a sub as well if you if you really want to get in there. Ooh, odd secrets. Alright, even if we lose this game, I'm keen to see what our opponent's deck does. Ooh, Diamol 2. Interesting. I think we have to coin this Twilight Drake. Ugh, it's gonna suck a lot. But we just gotta get something out there that can start actually rumbling. Now if our opponent has the counter spell as well, like... it's pretty lucky. Pretty lucky for us. Opponent can't hero power either, so our Drake lives unless they have like arcane missiles. Why wouldn't you arcane missiles first? That's real strange. Duskbreaker. I like that card. What can they have on 5? Blast Wave. And the good thing is, them being odd rogue means they don't actually have a lot of reach. But they do have a lot of cats.
I see a vision in the flames.
Now we could have gone for the heal first, then inner fired. But I think we actually want to save one of these inner fires to test for a counter spell at some point. That's pretty good. Glad we picked up this Holy Fire. This is really cool, like a tempo-y odd mage kind of style. Wonder how much late game they have. If they have no plays this turn, then I'm guessing the answer to how much late game they have is a lot. Hold on. Let's think. They can't have Fireball. They can't have Pyroblast. They do have their hero power. The real question is, are we going for Duskbreaker? And we can just trade everything. Are we going to go for Wormguard? Or are we going to go for Northshire Cleric heal? Can we Shadow Visions? What are we dying to? Not a lot. I think I'm going to go for the Wormguard.
As the witch
And we'll find out what our opponent's holding.
We have many secrets.
Welcome to the show.
Oh, they could have had double Fire Eater. Okay. So, how many spells do we have left in the deck? Powered Shield, Divine Spirit. Only those two? Powered Shield, Divine Spirit? So we can Shadow Visions for 2 for both Divine Spirits? Oh, but then we can't play them both. We're 1 mana short. We need the Radiant Elemental. I guess we just go for Duskbreaker and heal ourselves. Ah, damn. Well, if they've got the Fire Eater, we're dead. Or we might be dead to an Arcane Missiles. Okay, 1 in 3. Let's go. Oh, that's the best one. And there's our Radiant Elemental. Ah, we goofed that up, didn't we? I
must consider.
Is there a way we can get out of this? I think we just have to go for some kind of very cheesy line where we hope to draw the other Divine Spirit. We goofed that turn when we went for the Shadow Visions. Totally didn't factor in that Divine Spirit costs mana, you know? GG's. That was pretty close. Feels like we could have turned the corner there at the end, and we... Yeah, interesting. Well played. Alright, we're here with Dvaashie's Inner Fire Priest. Had a couple of games with it, and it actually worked pretty well. I have to give some big props to the Fire Tree Witch Doctor. That's this card I think is pretty legit within a Dragon Priest build. The only things that I'm still I'm concerned about is still those disparate elements of Shadow Ascendant and Ysera. You know, that if we wanted to be an early game aggressive deck, having Ysera in our opening hand, like mulliganing into it, drawing it at any stage in the first 8 turns of the game, is actively detrimental to that strategy, just as much as us wanting to play the late game strategy, wanting to, you know, get to the late game, start deploying these really powerful cards. A Shadow Ascendant doesn't exactly help us get there. And I think in a world of Headhunters Hatchets and upgraded Mage hero powers, unfortunately Shadow Ascendant doesn't long for this world in this kind of list. What I do like is the Twilight Acolytes. I think they're fantastic, especially with all these mountain giants around. Only going to get better once people figure out exactly where they want to be, because we can start, you know, including more Twilight Acolytes or cutting them. I really liked the Twilight Drakes. I liked the Divine Spirit Inner Fire combo elements. I actually kind of like Wormguard and Nightscale Matriarch. The Primordial Drake and Ysera, maybe a bit less so. Primordial Drake I think is good. It combines well with Crowd Roasters as ways for us to turn the corner in the late game, stopping our opponent's aggression and then converting it into our own aggression. But I think Ysera, even though it's great, even though it's a late game powerhouse, it doesn't provide any immediate benefit. I think all we are really looking for is just big booties that are going to stop our opponent in their tracks, and then also allow us to kill our opponent with that Inner Fire combo. So big shout outs to Dvaashie for for sharing the Inner Fire Priest list. I think Dragon Inner Fire Priest, or Dragon Priest in general, has a lot to be experimented with this expansion, and it's great to kind of see what some people are doing with it. So if you are watching this video on YouTube, all the links are down in the description, including a link over to the Hearthstone deck article. Jump over there, give Dvaashie a +1, leave a lovely thoughtful comment, like I know you will. None of this toxicity, please. If you want to check me out, of course, if you're watching on YouTube or on Twitch, you can go check out the other one. It's Tommy Wave on Twitch, it's Tommy Wave on YouTube, it's Tommy Wave everywhere, including on Twitter, which is the best place to catch me if you've got a deck you want me to check out. But until next time, stay safe, stay wavy, eat the rich, and play those big booty boys. I hope you enjoyed that video. Check out other ones over here, or come subscribe to the Wave Pool for more excellent times.